Before the relentless noise of the external world and chaotic expectations dictate your day, intentionally stop. In this sacred time, draw a deep, purposeful breath into the center of your being. Inhale slowly, pulling restorative air into the quietest chambers of your stomach. Hold it for a heartbeat, allowing pure oxygen to gather the anxious energy you unknowingly carry. Exhale, dropping the massive boulder of unspoken frustrations from your shoulders. Unclench your jaw, releasing the memory of swallowed boundaries kept for fragile peace. Soften your eyes. Drop your shoulders. Notice how this intentional presence shifts the heavy pressure inside your nervous system. You are fundamentally, irrevocably safe here, fiercely recognized for your radiant essence and understood by your ancient soul. We are currently standing at a staggering, intensely complex, and deeply revealing energetic intersection. The date is April 18. This is absolutely not a day for casual observation, and it is certainly not a day for playing small, hiding your emotional depth, or retreating into the familiar, suffocating shadows of your old, chaotic coping mechanisms. This is a day of absolute, breathtaking, and terrifyingly beautiful cosmic forging. On this highly specific, mathematically precise point in the universe, we are being ignited by a profoundly powerful, visceral, and incredibly heavy astrological alignment. Today, Mars, the swift, blazing, unapologetic planet of our action, our passion, our inner warrior, and our primal drive, collides in a direct, intense conjunction with Saturn, the massive, unyielding planet of karma, structure, discipline, and absolute reality. And they are meeting headfirst in the bold, pioneering fire of Aries. But this is not an isolated collision. As the fire of Mars meets the concrete wall of Saturn, they are simultaneously forming a brilliant, incredibly supportive, and deeply transformative sextile to Pluto, the lord of the underworld, the planet of absolute psychological death, rebirth, and sovereign power, currently residing in the revolutionary sign of Aquarius. These are not just distant celestial bodies moving silently in the dark, cold void of space. These are literal energetic codes, massive, heavy, structural software updates for your human experience, being downloaded directly into your nervous system, your root chakra, and your heart space. They are completely, irrevocably rewriting your internal blueprint for love, breaking down the ancient illusions you have carried about passion, and forcing you into a state of absolute, undeniable romantic discipline. Let us deeply, courageously examine what is actually happening within your spirit as the raw, blazing fire of Mars is forced to submit to the absolute, structural authority of Saturn, while Pluto demands a complete psychological transformation from the deepest shadows of your soul. For a very, very long time, you have completely confused chaos with passion. Because of your deep, beautifully tender heart, your profound capacity for intensity, and the unhealed wounds of your past, you have lived in a chronic, agonizing state of romantic dysregulation. You have taken your fiery, beautiful, completely valid desires, your absolute need for deep connection, and you have poured them into dynamic, explosive, and entirely unstable relationships. You have gone to absolute war against your own nervous system, convincing yourself that the terrifying, gut-wrenching anxiety of a push-and-pull dynamic was actually the thrilling butterfly sensation of true love. You desperately, constantly threw your Martian energy, your effort, your fight, your endless drive into connections that lacked any form of Saturnian structure. You built massive, towering, beautiful castles of romantic investment entirely on shifting sand. You tolerated partners who gave you intense, blazing moments of fiery passion, only to completely disappear into the cold, silent void the next day, leaving you absolutely starved, confused, and questioning your entire worth. You took your primal, vital emotional life force, your beautiful capacity for raw, passionate devotion, and you locked it in a heavy, dark cycle of addiction to the high of the reunion and the agonizing low of the abandonment. You fell deeply, tragically, into the devastating habit of believing that love had to be a battlefield. You became fiercely addicted to the noble, exhausting, completely self-destructive crusade of fighting for a connection that was constantly slipping through your fingers. You convinced yourself that if you just tried a little harder, if you were just a little more patient, if you could just survive one more dramatic explosion, you could finally secure the unconditional, stable love you so desperately craved. You confused the absolute exhaustion of this endless, unwinnable emotional warfare with the feeling of profound romantic depth. You thought that because you were constantly fighting, crying, and reconciling, it must mean the connection was legendary. You mistook the suffocating, terrifying absence of safety for a grand, passionate love story. But as the profound, transformative energy of this April 18 alignment peaks, as the warrior Mars strikes the immovable, cold stone of Saturn in the territory of Aries, the chaotic, exhausting fog of your romantic instability is suddenly, violently, and beautifully shattering against the absolute, undeniable wall of reality. This alignment is sparking a massive, irreversible spiritual awakening directly within your root chakra. It is the sudden, striking, highly physical realization of the spiritual warrior who finally stops swinging their sword in the dark and instead uses it to build an impenetrable fortress. You are experiencing a literal, physical shockwave of emotional maturity. The heavy, intoxicating, deeply addictive illusion of the chaotic lover is shattering into a million unrecoverable pieces. You are suddenly seeing the past, the toxic dynamics, the endless swallowing of your peace, and the agonizing lack of true, structured partnership with a stark, almost blinding realism. You are looking at the people who gave you anxiety instead of assurance, the unbalanced connections that completely drained your vital life force. And for the first time in your life, you do not feel the desperate, clawing urge to chase them. You do not feel the heavy, suffocating responsibility to fight for someone who is not simultaneously fighting to build a safe, solid foundation with you. You are feeling the brilliant, sharp, deeply protective discipline of Saturn waking up inside your emotional body, supported by the absolute, transformative, world-altering power of Pluto. You are finally, deeply, and profoundly understanding that your vital, brilliant love was never meant to be a chaotic storm that destroys your peace. It was meant to be the solid, unshakable ground upon which you build your empire. This is the absolute, permanent death of the addicted-to-drama partner within your romantic blueprint. You are finally dropping the heavy, rusted mask of the endless fighter. You are taking your immense, beautiful, terrifying power back from the people who gladly, willingly kept you in a state of constant, panicked uncertainty. You are finally realizing that true, sovereign love, the absolute highest manifestation of Mars, conjunct Saturn, requires the terrifying, breathtaking courage to demand absolute consistency. It requires the bravery to look at a passionate but unstructured connection and completely, coldly walk away, because it does not meet the basic, non-negotiable requirements of your peace. And the universe is not just breaking your toxic, chaotic patterns. It is immediately, beautifully rushing in to fortify your spirit with a tidal wave of unimaginable, fiercely protective, undeniable structural integrity. Because exactly as you drop the addiction to chaos, the skies open up and deliver the pure, undeniable, blazing heat of Mars, tempered perfectly by the masterful, architectural genius of Saturn. Listen to the sound of my voice, and let these words sink into the deepest, most permanent layers of your subconscious mind. Saturn is doing the fierce, intensely necessary work of setting an absolute, unbreakable boundary around your heart, while Mars is handing you the magnificent, golden stamina to uphold that boundary against any toxic intrusion. Pluto is working entirely in the unseen realms, permanently deleting the subconscious trauma bonds that made you crave the very people who destroyed you. For so long, you have operated in a state of energetic leakage. You have survived in the chaotic storms of other people's emotional immaturity, telling yourself you were fine, being the anchor in their hurricane. The transformative frequency of April 18 is stepping powerfully into your energetic field, placing its heavy, incredibly steady, ancient hands firmly on your shoulders, looking you dead in the eye, and whispering a profound, ultimate truth directly into your soul. Your peace is your highest currency. Your stability is not boring. It is the ultimate luxury. True, authentic, profoundly aligned love is not supposed to trigger your fight or flight response. It is supposed to calm your nervous system completely. You are currently undergoing a radical, highly accelerated psychological and emotional upgrade. You are being entirely recalibrated to handle the intense, brilliant frequency of true, unfiltered, unapologetic stability within a romantic partnership. You find yourself suddenly, inexplicably repulsed by the hot and cold, inconsistent, deeply unreliable dynamics that you used to tolerate and even mistake for passion. The idea of wondering where you stand with someone, the idea of having to perform exhausting emotional gymnastics just to get a text back or a clear commitment, suddenly feels profoundly insulting, completely childish, and entirely unnatural to your newly awakened, sovereign spirit. You are looking at the confusing, chaotic communication you used to accept, and you are feeling an unshakable, elevated intolerance for anything less than a partner who possesses the profound discipline to match their words with absolute, undeniable action. This is not you becoming cold or guarded. This is you becoming sovereign. This is you becoming a master architect of your own reality. This is you stepping into the absolute, golden luxury of your own unapologetic standards. You are realizing that you do not want a partner who only brings the wild, destructive fire of Mars. You want a partner who brings the fire of Mars and the unyielding, protective, deeply committed structure of Saturn. You want a connection that feels like standing inside a massive, brilliantly lit, entirely indestructible fortress after a lifetime of surviving outside in a terrifying, violent, emotional hurricane. You are demanding, with the quiet, terrifying, unshakable confidence of a fully awakened soul, a love that is expansive, courageous, fiercely disciplined, completely reliable, and entirely free of toxic games. And because you are finally demanding it, because you are no longer accepting the chaos, the universe is expanding your magnetism to an entirely unprecedented, mind-blowing level. You are quite literally becoming a walking, breathing, blazing magnet for high-vibrational, fully realized, securely attached, deeply structured love. You are calling in a partner who does not flinch when you require consistency. You are calling in an absolute equal, a sovereign builder for a sovereign builder, someone who has fought their own brutal internal battles, faced their own deepest, darkest Plutonian shadows, conquered their own deep fear of intimacy, and is now standing completely whole, capable of giving you the vast, expansive safety to breathe, grow, and conquer your own life without ever wondering if they will be there when you get home. Someone who looks at your fierce, burning passion and does not exploit it for a fleeting thrill, but instead carefully, respectfully takes your hand and asks how you can channel that fire to build a legacy together. This energy is not just about romance. It is about the absolute convergence of all forms of your personal, sovereign power. As you clear the dense, heavy, suffocating addiction to chaos from your system, you are simultaneously unblocking massive, rushing rivers of absolute authority, unstoppable career momentum, and raw, grounded leadership that were waiting for you to simply, finally, discipline your own energy. You will notice over the next few days that opportunities, people, and serendipitous moments of sheer, undeniably perfect structural alignment will start arriving at your doorstep with shocking speed. A sudden urge to completely cut off a toxic, lingering connection without a single word of explanation. An unexpected breakthrough in how you fiercely protect your own time and energy, a brilliant wave of raw, deeply grounded power that absolutely demands to be utilized. You will feel a radiant, blazing, yet deeply controlled heat expanding in your chest, a deep, cellular, undeniable knowing that the universe is no longer teaching you through the agonizing pain of heartbreak. It is now teaching you through the incredible, ecstatic peace of absolute stability. You ask yourself, why did I ever accept the scraps of inconsistent passion when I was born to sit on a throne of undeniable security? Why did I ever apologize for having massive, high standards when I had an entire ocean of divine, unshakable worth within my own chest? Do not dare to judge the past versions of yourself for the chaos they endured. They did the absolute best they could with the unhealed wounds of unworthiness they carried. They were desperately, blindly trying to find love in a world that had incorrectly taught them that intense pain was the price of admission for deep connection. I want you to deeply, profoundly, and entirely forgive yourself right now. I want you to let the sound of my voice be the final, absolute, undeniable permission you need to completely release the heavy, exhausting burden of your chaotic romantic history. Let your physical voice vibrate in the actual air around you. Do not just think this, actually speak it out loud, or scream it silently into the very center of your mind with the force of a cosmic supernova. I completely and unconditionally forgive myself for loving the chaos. I forgive myself for fighting silent, losing wars to force structure onto people who were committed to misunderstanding me. I forgive myself for pouring my sacred, vital, life-giving energy into black holes of inconsistency. I forgive myself for believing I had to endure agonizing anxiety to be worthy of deep, romantic connection. I completely release the heavy, rusted chains of my past trauma bonds. I completely sever all energetic cords to the people who needed me to stay dysregulated so they could feel powerful and in control. I call all of my vital, brilliant, beautiful, passionate, and fiercely disciplined energy back to my own root chakra and my own heart space. I am finally, deeply, and irrevocably open to the absolute abundance of safe, structured, extremely consistent, and unconditionally sovereign love. Breathe that massive, world-altering declaration deeply into your cells. Feel the actual, physical, undeniable shift in the room around you. Feel the air become highly charged with absolute, unshakable solidity. Feel the chronic density, the anxiety, and the desperate neediness permanently leaving your energetic field. You have absolutely not lost a single ounce of your incredible potential by letting go of your past patterns. By walking away from the false, terrifying thrill of chaos, by stepping directly, bravely into the mature, brilliant, completely disciplined fire of the Mars-Saturn conjunction, you have just freed up a massive, staggering amount of life force energy that is now rushing entirely into the physical, tangible manifestation of your absolute highest timeline. What you are experiencing as this April 18 transit peaks is a profound, incredibly necessary, and wildly explosive personal and romantic maturation. You are crossing the burning bridge from the timeline of the anxious chaser directly into the timeline of the unapologetic sovereign architect. You will absolutely be tested in the coming weeks. The quiet ghosts of your old drama-seeking habits will likely try to drift back in. An ex or a toxic dynamic might reach out with a confusing, hot and cold message, a late-night breadcrumb, hoping you will pick up the old, heavy mask and perform the dance of chaos for them one last time. They will want to see if the unstructured, reactive version of you is still available for consumption. When they do this, you are going to experience the ultimate, exhilarating, breathtaking victory of your brand new energetic frequency. You will look at the expectation for you to react, the invitation to enter the drama, and you will feel absolutely nothing but a calm, elevated, completely untouchable, deeply rooted wall of ice and fire. You will see the toxic dynamic for exactly what it is. And for the first time in your entire life, you will not respond. You will look at the chaos, and you will simply, elegantly, and firmly turn your back, because your peace is an entire, complete, impenetrable fortress, and you are no longer lowering the drawbridge for anyone who refuses to bring their own bricks to help you build. You will, quietly, beautifully, and fiercely prioritize your stability, both in the physical world and in the vast quantum field of your own healing heart. By refusing to step backward into the anxiety, by absolutely refusing to re-enter the chaotic storm you just escaped, you are sending a massive, undeniable shockwave directly to the universe. You are declaring, with unshakable, terrifying finality, that your emotional safety is entirely non-negotiable from this day forward. And the universe, powered by the incredible, structural, blazing vitality of this astrological alignment, will respond by handing you the master keys to the kingdom. It will bring you the legendary love that does not require you to guess, wonder, or fight for basic clarity. It will bring you the profound, beautiful, unshakable peace of a life where your internal reality perfectly matches your external expression, where your mind is an absolute fortress of self-respect and your discipline is a wand of magnifique manifestation. You are completely ready. You have spent lifetimes in anxiety and in agonizing heartbreak preparing for this exact, massive shift in consciousness. The brutal, intensely necessary lessons of your past instability have successfully forged an impenetrable, glowing shield of radical self-respect around your heart. Take one final, incredibly deep, anchoring, sovereign breath. Place your hand firmly and warmly over your root chakra, feeling the absolute solidity of the earth beneath you. Close your eyes. Feel the steady, ancient, entirely reliable pulse of your own fiercely disciplined life force beneath your palm. Feel the potential of every single tear you have ever cried over inconsistency, not as a loss, but as the exact water that was needed to mix the mortar for your new, unbreakable foundation. That vibration is your ultimate truth. That physical sensation is your magic. That deeply disciplined, unshakable spirit is your true, permanent, undeniable weapon of light. Everything you have experienced up until this exact moment was merely the turbulent, deeply necessary bridge to get you exactly here, to this very moment, to this very breath, to this profound, physical realization of your staggering, breathtaking power to build a love life where you are finally, unapologetically safe. This beautiful, glowing, untouchable core within you is entirely yours. It is completely impervious to anyone else's shadows, and it is now wide open to broadcast the absolute best, most authentic, most mature version that your sovereign soul has to offer to this universe. If these words have successfully bypassed the heavy, exhausted guards of your logical mind and spoken directly, intimately, to the deep, silent wisdom of your spirit, if you have felt the physical shift in your body, the quiet, powerful rising of disciplined, undeniably real fire in your chest as you listen to this transmission, do not let this wildly powerful energetic window close without firmly, physically claiming it. Like this message. Do not do it out of an unconscious habit, but let the physical action of tapping the screen be a deliberate, grounded signature on your brand new contract with the cosmos. It is you bravely declaring that you are finally ready to step out of the chaos of others and receive the abundance of absolute, unapologetic stability. Share your journey and deep realizations in the comments below. Declare your new standard of consistency. Use your actual words. Tell the universe exactly what chaotic drama you are no longer available for and exactly what sovereign, structured, unshakable love you are calling in. Let the physical manifestation of your typed words act as an unbreakable energetic anchor for your brilliant timeline of truth. There is an undeniably magnetic power in actively witnessing each other's profound spiritual awakening into stability. We are finally realizing that the seemingly solitary, intensely painful path of finding our structured self is not a lonely journey, but rather a massive roar of elevating conscious souls refusing to accept scraps anymore. Your specific story and terrifyingly beautiful vulnerability might be the precise vibrational key that someone else desperately needs today to stop abandoning their own peace. Your massive courage might help them drop their addiction to drama and step entirely into their own stable truth. Subscribe to this exact frequency of absolute liberation. Keep your spirit strictly tethered to this highly elevated, unapologetic vibration as we navigate these massive cosmic waves together in the stable months to come. Now, take one more intentional, incredibly deep breath. Breathe in the crystal clear, utterly brilliant reality of this present moment. Let it physically fill your lungs to their absolute capacity. Fill your entire human vessel with the vibrant energy of your completely unapologetic new beginning. Exhale the desperately tired echoes of your past, anxiety. Blow those suffocating memories of chaotic lovers away into the infinite cosmic ether, sending them permanently back to the absolute nothingness from which they came. You are profoundly safe to be entirely at peace. You are fiercely sovereign and wonderfully whole as you are, entirely capable of demanding absolute consistency. The exhausted era of chasing chaos is permanently over. The toxic illusion of unstable passion is dead. The abundantly reliable, fiercely protected reality of your authentic, unshakable love story is finally here. Welcome home, beautiful soul, to the magnificent roar of your indestructible greatness.